Oh, hello. Are you a pedantic weirdo who likes to hang out in obscure exotic card message boards? Well, this episode of Whining with Meg is for you.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
Okay, so now we can be normal, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so story time. How many months ago did you do the 348 deal?
I don't know. It's got to be at least 5.
5
It was
months.
early summer.
Early summer 2019.
Yeah.
Dan's good friend Tim, bona fide normal guy, discovered a very reasonably priced Ferrari 348, an older Ferrari. It needed what I've come to be educated is called a major.
Correct.
No, and a major is apparently when one of these older Ferraris requires you to pull the entire engine out of the car every 5,000 miles?
No, every 5 years or 25,000 miles.
Oh, every 5 years or 25,000 miles.
Technically 3 years, but most people go to 5.
Technically 3 years, but most people push it to 5. Which I would understand, being that, let's be real, especially by modern standards, that is incredibly annoying to have to do to a car. Most modern cars, you will never have to pull an engine unless something catastrophically goes wrong. From my perspective as a normal person, I like to think a normal person, at least with regard to cars. I'm a person who's not a car enthusiast. My husband's current job notwithstanding, from the 70s, 80s? 80s.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Late 80s, early 90s. Okay. So Scent of a Woman era.
Yeah, about that time. He drove a Mondial.
And that one is the one that's the ugly Ferrari? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just going to make more people mad now.
You're just gonna make more people mad by calling it? Oh, there's somebody who loves a Mondial out there. I'm certain of it.
Hey, it's got redeeming qualities, but it's ugly. That's opinions. You know.
We're getting very controversial, I know.
Yes.
But we digress. You guys know me, doing my own thing and, living my life when Dan is, Kim Kardashianing it up in the garage with his Ferrari. And I hear the drama, the limited, albeit limited amount of drama that's associated with, being a YouTuber. Probably less drama than it's associated with just working anywhere. I cannot, for the life of me, understand when you're really too into anything, it becomes very hard to see the forest from the trees. Mm-hmm. Like when you're in it and you're like right here. I don't think it's that different from any hobby, but there are some folks who are just too deep in it, no matter what it is. My husband has the capacity to do that, so I appreciate that. I'm not picking on those people just because that's their quality. Dan gets really into things. But,
do not.
No way. Tim, very sweet man, buys this 348. Dan and Adam to the rescue with his flatbed.
Yep.
Is that what he has? They go and pick this up in what? Where was it? Tennessee or Kentucky?
Tennessee.
So they find this 348 that's in good condition, albeit needing a major, in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
They go and they pick it up. They get the flatbed. Adam's a sweetheart. Drives over with the flatbed with you and Tim, and the three of you drive in shifts so that you can go pick up that 348. Is it 348 or 348? 348?
Most people say 348, but
348. You go pick up that 348 from Tennessee. Tim is super psyched. Ricambi is super psyched. But, by the way, Ricambi, something, tagline here. What is Ricambi's like? Do they have a saying or a motto? I just want to shout out to Ricambi because they've been a wonderful partner for Dan.
by the way, this is not sponsored.
This is not it's not sponsored, but a lot of your videos have been.
Sure.
But I think it bears on the conversation because
Yeah.
Ricambi donated the grand majority of parts
Right.
for that major. Just gave the parts to the effort.
In exchange for videos.
That's true.
It's a sponsorship.
It's a sponsorship.
That was a sponsorship. They gave us parts. We promoted them on those videos.
By merit of using those parts.
Right.
In the major. No, so it's still a quid pro quo, but it's still like, that's really cool. Tim, this cool guy, goes and gets this Ferrari, very reasonably priced, gets free labor from Dan and other people involved in the effort, and free parts from Ricambi to make this 348 good as new, at the end of the day, he gets his own Ferrari. Foreign to me, but a very big deal for so many dudes.
This was a lifelong dream
This was-
accomplished.
that
for,
yeah,
for Tim.
it is. It is. As shocked as I am, men acquiring these cars is a lifelong dream. It doesn't even really particularly matter which Ferrari, but having a Ferrari and driving it around, I am still shocked, and men get very undone about it. Emotionally, it's a big deal. So it was a big deal to Tim. It certainly helped that there were multiple parties that were going to do labor on the car with him, and that the parts were going to come pretty much in exchange for goodwill and doing stuff these guys were going to do anyway, which was change the parts on this car. You would think that that's like a win-win-win.
Yeah.
Like everybody wins. Nice guy Tim gets a 348 without having to pay for the major. Dan gets content for his channel. You guys get your entertainment. Ricambi gets some props because, they're the supplier of all these Ferrari replacement parts. But no, nothing that is well-intentioned can ever go that well. So I start hearing all this drama, and this is 4 or 5 months ago, and it's still a thing that I hear about. So there's a chat board or a message forum or something like Fortran of Ferrari World, or is it... And this is where people go. It's like the deep web of Ferrari. People are just like, again, they're really deep into it. This is their stuff. This is what they like to talk about, and they want to talk about it in detail. Not long after Dan started posting the 348 series, he started to get some major haterade from specifically very emotionally involved 348 owners, leveling such charges as Dan hurting the 348 community.
Mm-hmm.
You're hurting the community, Dan.
And the value.
And the value. And Dan is affecting the global price of 348s. So, as I've come to understand it, the rationale there is like by Dan supposedly inflating in their perception the cost of performing the services they performed on that 348, it makes it less attractive to buyers. Okay, so if buyers weren't, here's from my perspective, okay, I want to back up as a person who is not a car person, who's just a conscientious objector in this whole thing, and say, by Dan putting this vintage automobile back into working order with the help of a bunch of knowledgeable and enthusiastic, though not professional gentlemen, with occasional guidance from Josh, who was very much a professional, getting the free parts to do it from a company that was happy to provide them because that's their business, is providing Ferrari replacement parts to people who own Ferraris and Maseratis. Ricambi America.
Nice.
It's fuel for thought.
Wrong one.
No, I know that shell. It's fuel for thought. I really thought Dan had done a lovely thing. This automobile that wasn't working, was working, went to the loving home of a normal guy who is going to cherish it, who's going to drive it and love it and just be ecstatic about it. A subset of 348 owners in the dark web who are enraged because Dan posted a series, and on one of the titles he was like, this major cost $25,000, but we're going to do it for $0 or something. Whatever, how these titles are on YouTube. From what I've been told in hearing Dan and his car friends talk, for the amount of work they put in to that particular project, $25,000 was very reasonable. But I guess there is some wiggle room in if you want to operationalize the definition of a major. And so the 348 community was up in arms because they felt like their asset had been devalued
By my videos.
by Dan's videos. Okay, so again, stepping back as a normal, objective person, if you own a car where you have to pull the motor every 3 to 5 years and that's not a big enough detractor to a potential buyer, I don't think the cost of doing that will be any further a detractor. That's annoying. It is annoying to own an automobile that you have to pull the whole engine out of every 3 to 5 years, regardless of what that costs. That's obnoxious. And that's probably how Ferrari's got this like mythologically finicky status that they have of being hard to deal with, is because of those Ferraris, is what I'm
because
guessing.
It's objective fact that it's hard
It's
to deal with.
objective fact that it's super annoying. Like whether Dan and his car friends put $25,000 worth of work into it, or whether or not the typical major is some degree less expensive than that, to me it feels like if somebody wants a 348 and they're not put off by ripping the engine out, like the cost differential like won't be an issue. Like they want that car. They're cool with dealing how annoying that is in the first place. They love that car.
No
Fine.
one slips and falls into buying a 348.
Yeah, I'm not gonna slip on a banana peel and end up with a 348. No. If you didn't want to deal with that, there's plenty of cars to buy. Like get a Honda Civic, Toyota Prius, or a Ford Focus or something, or my Mini, which is slightly more finicky than those cars, but I don't have to pull the engine out of it. I guess it's kind of like anything that anybody gets too deeply into. Dan, pan right. Okay, so that's a huge fish tank. Pan left. Obviously, I'm really into marine aquariums. I aquaculture coral, saltwater coral. Well, there's not really freshwater coral, but I'm into it. I get it. And that's not like a mainstream hobby. And you better believe there are many message boards online where people are super serious about marine aquariums. One of the legendary heated debates in the marine aquarium community is whether or not a deep sand bed is better for a tank or no sand bed is better for a tank. Now, car guys with no frame of reference for marine aquariums have got to be saying, that's the stupidest effing thing I've ever heard in my life. That people have fought for years and just hurled vitriolic insults at each other over whether or not somebody puts a deep sand bed in one of these tanks. Oh, FYI, I am team deep sand bed. You have to understand, as stupid as that sounds, that is how stupid this 348 drama sounds to anybody who is not too close to the issue. It's just too much. It's like, if you're a member of the 348, the fruitless 348 defense committee, and you feel like your community has been damaged. Well, okay, so just so you know, in 2018, Dan, he won a contest through the Ferrari Club of America he was the second in the nation for enrolling more people, new members in the FCA than anyone in the country besides that one top guy. I don't know who that guy was.
I don't either.
But Dan has attracted more people's interest to this brand and to these cars than any troll that lurks on some subforum of a message board. And he's undeniably helped other men who truly love this hobby, both intellectually and materially, with his time and his knowledge and his resources via these sponsors. Like, Dan has done more for the Ferrari community than I think most people. And I use the term Ferrari community loosely, guys. Like, I don't know what else to say about it, except I think it's ridiculous. Dan is bad for the 348 community like Jimmy Carter is bad for the homeless community. I mean, grow up. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And I don't know anything about cars. But if you step back and look at the issue, give it a, zoom out, 500 feet or more, it's stupid back and forth. It's a stupid argument. That's my take as a normal person who's doing her work emails before bed.
Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome, baby.
Moses. Hi. You look sleepy. stretch. Did I wake you? Huh? Hi. You need some lovin's?
My baby. My baby.
He's totally abused,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do some experimental stuff, okay?
Okay.
Oh, hello. I was just doing some work. That's okay. Are you a pedantic weirdo that likes to hang out on obscure supercar message boards? Let me try that again. Oh, hello. I was just doing some work. Are you a weird, pedantic... Start over. Let me start over. Cut.
You're cracking. I don't even know if I can be in the room.
Shut up, you have to film. Oh, hello. I was just doing some work. Are you a weird, pedantic guy who likes to hang out too much in obscure, exotic car message forums? Wait, no, I want to try that again. I want to try it again. Oh. Hello. Are you a pedantic weirdo who likes to hang out in obscure chat forums about exotic cars? Well, this is an episode of Whining with Meg. Here, you gotta stop. Oh. Hello. Are you a pedantic weirdo who likes to hang out in obscure exotic car message forums? That's not a thing. Okay, cut! Oh, hello. Are you a pedantic weirdo who likes to hang out in obscure internet message forums? Message
Damn.
board?
Message forum, message board.
Message boards. Message
On
boards.
obscure forums.
And obscure message boards? For exotic car owners? Okay.